Hi, welcome to PK's classes. Today we will discuss schizophrenia and the drugs acting against it, antipsychotic drugs. Psychosis, when we say psychosis, it is a disorder of thinking, behavior, and the diseases which include psychosis are schizophrenia, affective disorders like depression, mania. Then we have organic psychosis like psychosis due to injury or due to alcoholism. Then we have anxiety. But when we say antipsychotic drugs, those drugs acting against schizophrenia are called as antipsychotic drugs. Okay? And this schizophrenia, it is a disorder of thought, a thought disorder. And it has the symptoms which can be divided into positive symptoms and negative symptoms. Why positive and negative? Because positive symptoms, as long as they are not harmful to the society, and when they become harmful to the society, we call them negative symptoms. So positive symptoms mainly, two symptoms mainly, delusion and hallucination. So delusion is false belief. The patient has a false belief he is controlled by somebody else, so say God, and he is talking to his mother who is already dead. So some false belief is there. And hallucination is false wonders. False wonders, I can do this, I can do that, limitless thinking. And usually alcoholic people, after taking alcohol, they suffer from hallucination. And there is a thought disorder, and this thought disorder is characterized by the patient feels that this thought is either inserted or withdrawn by some outside agency. That means you might have seen the film Dar, in which Shah Rukh Khan was thinking about her mother, and he is thinking that she is actually telling him to do this, do that. So, and he is not doing, but somebody else is inserting those thoughts. So those are positive symptoms. As long as these symptoms are there, they are not harmful to the society. So they are called positive. But the symptoms become negative symptoms when there is flattening of emotional response. So there will be no emotion. The patient can kill somebody. So that is a negative symptom. Withdrawal from society. So the patient will start from this one, withdrawal from society. The patient will start liking to remain alone. Okay. And in addition to that, it will also affect the skills of the patient. Okay. So these are positive and negative symptoms. And there are different theories. And mainly the dopamine theory is there, which says there is excess dopaminergic activity in case of schizophrenia. There is excess dopaminergic activity, and we need to decrease the dopaminergic activity. And we know the dopamine receptors can be presynaptic and postsynaptic. And the postsynaptic receptors are D2, D3 and D4. So the drugs against schizophrenia are called as antipsychotic drugs, and the D2 receptor blockers are called as classical antipsychotics or typical antipsychotics. Okay. And they are blockers of D2 receptor, and they are showing relief from the symptoms and mainly they only relieve the positive symptoms. Only relieve the positive symptoms. They cannot have action on the negative symptoms, and only positive symptoms are relieved, and efficacy against 70% of patients. So 30% remain resistant. In them these drugs cannot cure. So no longer they are fast living. And major drawback with these drugs. What are these drugs? Three groups mainly. Phenothiazines, like chlorpromazine. Chlorpromazine is the main drug. Chlorpromazine. Then we have butyrophenones, like haloperidol. Then we have thioxanthins, like flupenthizol. So these drugs mainly block the D2 receptor. In addition to that, they also block alpha 1 receptor, 5-HT receptor. Many receptors they, in addition to D2, they block. So because of that, there are many side effects. But one major side effect with these classical antipsychotics, these three group of drugs, is EPS, extrapyramidal side effect. Why it is called extrapyramidal? Because in our cortex there is a base of pyramid which controls the voluntary actions of skeletal motion. But this extrapyramidal means outside this base of pyramid there is a zone, and which includes this dopaminergic tracts. Like you can refer to our dopamine class, where all the actions of dopamine is described. So extrapyramidal side effects means outside this base of pyramid, and there is nigrostriatal tract. So when this tract, the dopamine receptors in this tract are blocked, so what happens? There will be loss of involuntary control. So there will be acute dystonias, and like torticollis. So this neck is straight. We don't have to try to make it straight. But when there will be dopaminergic block, there will be bent neck, torticollis, bent neck. Then there will be protruded tongue. That means the tongue is remaining inside our mouth, but when we lose that control, then the tongue will come outside, protruded tongue. So acute. And then when it becomes chronic, it leads to tardive dyskinesia, loss of balance. Okay. So and there will be tremors, and these symptoms are that of Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease symptoms are equivalent to your extrapyramidal side effects. So all these drugs have this major drawback of extrapyramidal side effects. So if it is continued for chronic use, then it may lead to Parkinson-like symptoms. So we have the atypical antipsychotics, or the new generation antipsychotics, which for example clozapine, olanzapine, sulpirid, risperidone. So all these drugs, in addition to D2, they also block D4 receptor mainly. So because of that, they lack extrapyramidal side effects. That is the advantage of these drugs, and they have more efficacy than the classical antipsychotics. Thank you.